Hey, Coach, Raheem just shared with us that Aaron Donald is sort of that voice that the defense gravitates to. Is there one voice that the offense gravitates to, or is it multiple voices?
Well, there's definitely one voice, and I think it would be Matthews. He's assumed that leadership role, but I will say this is by far the best group I've ever been around. As far as when that group of 11 gets in a huddle, whether you're talking about Witt or Big Rob Cooper, Robert Woods. I know he's not with us in that huddle currently, but he's an unbelievable leader. You've got some great traits across the board. Tyler Higbee is one of the most underrated leaders that I've been around, just how they operate, how they attack every single day. They push each other to be at their absolute best. And all of those guys in the end are really coachable. They're great communicators. So I definitely think the quarterback, if you got the right guy, is running the show, and those guys will follow him. But at the same time, I mean, I can't tell you how great of a group we have in that huddle. Depending on who's in there, we got great guys.
Thanks, Coach.
Claudia?
Hey, Kevin, you have a big and reliable group of targets for Matthew Stafford. What is the biggest challenge when putting together a game plan?
I think the way our offense is set up, we like to make sure we distribute the field in a way where, we can obviously have a plan for the type of coverages we're going to see, but also understand that we've got multiple options. If they want to try to take away one guy versus the other, we always have elements within our progressions where we can try to find the open guy. And I think that's what's made us really click when we get going this year. You see the ball spread around. Obviously, Cooper's going to get his touches. Odell's going to get his touches. Tyler Higbee, Van Jefferson, Ben Skoranek, all those guys coming alive. And then you've seen at times those running backs, even if it's just a check down, and Thomas Brown does such a good job with those guys, being in the right place at the right time, where if the pocket does start to, break down a little bit late in the progression, Matthew knows exactly where those guys are going to be. We find them, and putting the ball in play to either Sony or Cam has been a really positive thing for our offense. So it's a matter of just understanding what we're playing against from a defensive standpoint, making sure all five eligibles can come alive when possible, and then Matthew doing a great job with his feet and eyes in rhythm, trying to be in attack mode against defenses. The ball should really spread all over the place.
Thank you, Kevin.
Jordan Rodriguez.
Wow, first and last name. Look at that. Hey, Kevin, Matthew Stafford was talking post-game about how he kind of was on a different plane after that spike. And wondering, I mean, we've seen obviously the competitor in him for a year now, but that specific next sort of energy, was that, how often have you seen that from him, and what is he like when he goes to that place?
As far as that place, post spike right there, I think my hand is still sore from the high five. I think he bumped me on the way off. You almost just have to get out of his way when he went full competitor mode right there. And I've told you guys this multiple times this year. I could cite examples throughout the season where adversity may have hit. Things looked like this is going to be a challenge against a really good defense. One timeout, 42 seconds, whatever it was. But there was, between Matthew, our head coach, and myself, I don't think there was any doubt that we'd give ourselves a chance. And I thought Sean called some really great plays. We were prepared for that 2 minute, and Matthew knew exactly how he wanted to operate and how he wanted to execute those plays. Great job by Cooper getting out of bounds on the play that preceded the ball to get down and into field goal range. But Matthew Stafford, that's when he's at his best, when we need him. He's been like that from day one. And I think our whole team, we just talked about leadership. Part of being a leader is being at your best when it's required. And I think that was the greatest example that I've seen of it yet, and just trying to keep him going.
Thanks, Kevin.
Gary?
Jordan.
Clyde?
Hey, Kevin, were you talking behind a play sheet there when you sat down? It looked like you were.
No, I'm going to be on my way out to practice here in a second, but I guess it's just a habit, I don't know.
I was going to say, that was great. Hey, Raheem, before you came on, was talking about how Cooper Kupp and even Deebo Samuel should get more consideration as possible MVP candidates. Just curious from your standpoint, where you fall, in that thinking.
Totally agree. I mean, just talking about their guy first and Deebo, I mean, you see him have such an impact on the game, either as he's an elite receiver, obviously, but he's unbelievable with the ball in his hands after the catch. No secret when he lines up at running back, there's a purpose and a plan to that. And you can see why. I mean, incredibly physical, gets going downhill, still has, the lateral ability to make people miss. I know our guys are, they've got a real challenge playing against him. He's had an unbelievable season, and he's not afraid to have an impact in the running game as well. And that leads me to Cooper, where time and time again, I'm just amazed at his ability to impact the football game in so many different ways for us. The targets and the receptions and the huge plays all season have shown up. But I hope people, and I think people around the league, take note of his impact in the run game, his leadership ability, his way of from his own doing his own job, but doing it at such a high level and impacting us in both the run and the pass game. I just can't say enough about what it's like to be around him on a daily basis. Just the football IQ, his interactions with Matthew and Sean and myself, and then his ability to go play incredibly fast, incredibly effective, but with that quieted mind where he always seems like he's a step ahead. It's so impressive.
Mark,
And you,
oh,
okay.
Go ahead, Gary, real quickly, man.
I was just going to say, you mentioned that play getting out of bound, kind of a play that most people, overlook in terms because he had the big catch. But is that kind of characteristic of the kinds of things that he does that are just as important as the big catch and runs?
Absolutely, because situational football, we talk a lot about, here, and gets out of bounds on that catch. And then on the next play, to recognize what was happening, recognize the all-out pressure, understand that maybe he's not the first progression on a lot of times on that particular concept, but when he can come alive, if you miss that op, I don't really know where else we were going to go with that ball at that point. But for his awareness level and Matthew at the same time to be on the same page, to get that ball thrown and caught, and then people might not realize it, but just the awareness level to spot the football a little bit back from maybe where he did go down, knowing that at that point we could get that ball spotted that much faster, as opposed to trying to spot it maybe too far in front. Official tries to respot the ball and we're losing critical time right there. I think the best part about that is when I go back and watch that clip post catch, just our entire group of 11 understanding exactly what we needed to do, clock the football, the time at which we wanted to clock it left, the detail with our group in there at that moment on the road in a gotta have it situation. Just so proud of the way those guys handled that.
Thank you.
All right, we're wrapping with Mark and then Kevin.
No, all the offenses that kind of go back to the days of Mike Shanahan, they talk about the quarterback friendliness of the scheme. What's an example of that?
I think it's just making sure from a standpoint of having a plan either within the play call, within the particular, maybe a can system, maybe just the tools that we can use to help alleviate some stress on not only the quarterback, but the offensive line and the other guys in the huddle. But an example would be, hey, you got a run play called, and the look doesn't look great. We're going to get to a play that might maximize our ability to take advantage of that particular run. What would cause that to not be a great look? We're not just going to run a play just for the sake of running a play. We're going to try to have a purpose, clear-cut plan of attack of how we want to run each and everything we call on Sundays. And if and when things aren't what we're hunting, not like what we're looking for, the quarterback having the ability through the different tools in our system to try to get us either into a better play or get to something that will give us a really good chance to have success.
Kevin.
Hey, Kevin, on
Thank you.
Matthew Stafford, maybe the results the last couple of weeks speak for themselves, but where is he, mentally, physically, performance-wise at this stage of the season compared with earlier stages?
Well, we've played a lot of football this year. There's no doubt about it. But, I think he's been at his best. He's played really, really good football the last 2 weeks. He continues to be one of the first guys in the building every single day, ready to roll, and tremendous enthusiasm, but at the same time, carries a presence that everybody kind of feels and understands what point in time we are in the season, and that we're going to get his best on a daily basis through his preparation, which will only bring along his teammates with him and allow everybody to go play with a quieted mind and with a lot of confidence on Sunday.
And just to clarify that, I mean, what is bringing out the best at this moment, since he's never been to this moment before?
Yeah, I think the consistency, Kevin, in which he operates, I'd be selling short his preparation through, games 1 through 17 on into the first couple rounds of the playoffs. If it was any different this week, but I think he's as ready for this moment as he's ever been. He's been preparing for this for a long time, playing football at a really high level, and the quarterback position. This is the ultimate team sport, and he's our leader on offense. But I think he'd be the first one to tell you he credits a lot of the other guys in that huddle with him. And then they likewise would probably say Matthew's taken our offense to another level this year. And with his consistency, his ability to overcome when maybe there is the slightest sign of adversity, he's normally the number one guy leading us right through it, just like he did last Sunday late in that game.